Hey guys, today it's Psychosis here, and today I'm bringing you another album review. And today I'll be reviewing the album "Your Ghost Is a Gift" by the band Ligeia or Legeia. I don't know how to pronounce it; it's a weird name. But as you can see, the album art was pretty cool, and it's kind of a catfish, kind of. The reason I say that is because it looks like something that should be a modern metalcore album, but it's not. That's It's not a modern metalcore album. But yeah, today I'll be reviewing it. And yes, this is a metalcore album. I absolutely love metalcore, so of course I was interested in trying out a metalcore album I've never heard of before. Because I literally just listened to this for the first time the other night, and yeah, I decided to review it. And so, how is this album? Well, this album is actually really good. I really like the production. It's not overproduced. It's neither raw either. It's like It's like a perfect middle. I would describe it as basically top notch 2000s metalcore production. I really liked it. And like I said, the album artwork's kind of cool, but also kind of catfishy because it looks like something that should come out in today's day and age for album artwork. But this album came out in 2006, so around the height of metalcore, melodic metalcore, that time frame. But yeah, I wouldn't fully describe it as a modern melodic metalcore album at all. It's neither a traditional metalcore first wave album either. So musically, this album reminds me the most of Remembering Never with its sound. So it basically has like the emo tingy edge to it on the melodic parts, but then when it comes to the heaviness and everything else, it's basically breakdown central, like breakdowns galore, which can get old a little bit. I will say one of my major complaints of this album is I did get extremely fatigued of it towards the end, which was really a bummer because I like this album. The music is great, the breakdowns are awesome and heavy, and this album just has this intensity to it that I just absolutely love. And yeah, like I said, it has an emo edge to it. It kind of has that 2000s emo edge. A lot of song lyrics about like relationship type stuff. From what I could gather. And yeah, and just kind of the cleans are like Remembering Never, kind of whiny, but not really. They're really good in my opinion. And they pop up in a song, but they're very controlled. They're the focal point of the songs. It feels like that's more of the screaming and the actual breakdown parts and the parts. Yeah, I think the vocalist was awesome on this album. Vocals are definitely a highlight. The riffs are really riffs. There's mostly a lot of just chugging and breakdowns. If you like that stuff, you're gonna absolutely love this on this album. It is great to listen to, especially if you're doing something. Just put it on and just hear that. And that's what most people like more than the melodic side. I personally really like the melodic side. Yeah, I felt it was a good way to add some dynamics to the songs because otherwise it'd just be like Remembering Never breakdown central, like a breakdown every 20-30 seconds it feels like. But yeah, and the sounds melodic side's really fun. The cleans are really good. There's melodic riffs. It's not a melodic metalcore album. I wouldn't fully throw it under there. It's like this. It was one of those early, more chunky sounding metalcore albums that came out. So when the sounds were starting to form of what we understand as metalcore today, we're starting to examples of that were starting to take place. This is kind of like that. But the hardcore edge is definitely there, though. It does have this pissed off energy to it that metalcore just does not have in today's day and age. That's kind of all but been forgotten or removed. Actual hardcore roots of it all and the energy and intensity that comes with it. But yeah, I really like that music of this album. And I think song wise, I really like the first song and the third song on the album. Yeah, the first song, the very first song, and the third song. Those were my favorites, the ones I put my head up to the most. But there's a lot of other songs that had a lot of fun, hooky choruses and stuff. But like I said, the band keeps it really lax, and the cleans only pop up in the choruses, but they'll throw like one or two, but very briefly near each other. So it's like it happens and it's over, and then it's back to this everything else. And the drums and the breakdowns, metalcore. But yeah, and that's all I can really say about the music. I really enjoyed the music. The lyrics weren't exactly my thing totally, from what I could gather. It was didn't really have lyrics, but I could make out most of what he was saying. And yeah, and this is I think the band's first album, and for a debut, it's very good. I don't think this band is around anymore. I think they made like one or two albums and then they just quit. And this is the first one they made. And for a debut, like I said, it's very good, and it sounds just the production and sound quality is just very nice, especially for this time frame, 2006. It's just very nice. It's not like super polished either. So if you're somebody who hates over polished metal or music, you're gonna like it. But it's not like raw, like potato, or just a little rough on the edges. It's a good balance. And yeah, but I think my issue though is with it itself. So one of the biggest issues with this album is just the album fatigue I got from listening to it. What I got from listening to it. It's just when I got near like the halfway free force point, I was just kind of like all timed out, and it was really hard to focus on the songs. And it just kind of felt more and more predictable if you as I listened to it along, expecting like I was like, oh watch, there's gonna be a breakdown to end the entire album. Sure enough, last song, that's how it ended. So yeah, that's kind of a spoiler. The album ends on a breakdown. Good way, and it's not really. I wouldn't even say it's like the best breakdown on the album. It's a good one, but it's there's so many breakdowns that it kind of that's too is just there's so many breakdowns that it kind of kills the fun of the breakdowns, because when there's so many of them, they don't stand out as much. Because it's like you listen to the song and there's a chorus and a verse riff and then boom and a breakdown and then another breakdown, and it's just like it gets tiring after a while. It really sucks because I enjoy the music on this album. Like I said, I keep repeating myself, but I will say I really enjoy the music on this album, and I was actually quite thrilled to just randomly come across this and listen to it for the first time. Especially considering I should probably have known this album, and I didn't. And so yeah, the break just a lot of breakdowns. It's both a pro and a con. If if it's too much for you, you're gonna get tired of it faster. But if it's not, you're gonna enjoy it. The clean parts are great, but people just didn't really like them as much. I like those parts. Like I said, they add some dynamics and some flavor and balance to it all. Some flair, you could say. Because just open chugging get old, as cool as it is and fun as it is. It just gets old. You want more than just one thing in your album. And yeah, and the lyrics are kind of emo from what I could gather. Totally Remembering Never-esque this band is. And it's kind of a goofy album because of that. Like I say, it's like Remembering Never, but it's like two of their albums. So the cleans are like their very first album. She Looks So Good in Red, which is really hard to find these days. Or yeah, it's kind of like obscured, but you can find it on Spotify. It's a very messy album. And then there's their second album, which is like really iconic, just a chuggy, brain dead, knuckle dragging album. A lot of really heavy, intense breakdowns. That's kind of where this album leans more towards that album, the second one. Just heavy and chuggy. I won't say it's that heavy, as heavy as the Remember Never album, which is because of the melodic parts, but it's just really good. But yeah, it's just, yeah, those kind of were bad things, I guess, about it. And yeah, I don't really know much else to say to it. I thought I was gonna be able to say more, but it's just a very straightforward early 2000s metalcore album, just not as melodic. Although it does have the melodic parts. And I think I'll give this album actually about 8.5 out of 10. Very good album, just was not. It's just kind of my interest died down. I got really fatigued by it, and it was a lot more saming than I thought it was gonna be. And I got kind of catfish because I thought it'd be more melodic than it was, or like a modern metalcore album due to the album artwork. But yeah, it's really good, and I guess they're not around anymore. But the vocalist is now in some other band. It also has a very goofy name, though not as goofy as this band's name. And yeah, this Your Ghost is a Gift is an 8.5 out of 10. I'll just go with 8.5 rounded down. Just a really good album. Definitely listen to it if you haven't. If you just want more brain dead, a kind of metalcore album, just more lean on the chugs and the more primitive parts of it all, more hardcore sound. Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely recommend this album to anyone that likes metalcore. You'll definitely like it. Well, like I said, a lot of people aren't as big of fans of the melodic sections, even though I was more of a fan of melodic sections because I just like that kind of stuff. I like melody in my metal and like clean choruses and stuff. It's just a matter of just knowing when to balance it all is what matters. And yeah, that was my view, guys. If you have any requests for books for me to review or albums or what have you, just let me know in the comments. I will definitely might check them out. I'm always really interested in listening to new music or reading books. I'm trying to get into reading. So if you're wondering why there's book videos now, that's why. I'm trying to just read and get into reading and actually stick with it. It's kind of hard when you're busy with like school and stuff, but I want to be more disciplined about it. And so, yeah. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.